About a year ago at Ignite, we launched Microsoft Search. And over the course of the last year, we have been moving from preview at that time to general availability, launching new capabilities. And throughout the time, we were getting questions from people like you saying, what is this thing? How does it work? Where's my data? And what does it mean for me as a search administrator, or in a lot of cases, the SharePoint administrator? So what we wanted to do today was take the covers off a little bit on the architecture and then go into a little bit more practical experiences of the day-to-day search administration. So my name is Jeff Kisner. I'm a program manager with Microsoft Search. And to get us going today, we've got Robin.
Thanks, Jeff. How many people in here use Office.com as their user base's primary search experience? Okay. How many people use Bing for their enterprise results through something like Bing for Business? Okay, how many people use SharePoint? Okay, just got to know my room a little bit. So I'm going to take you on a little bit of a history, partly because it helps tell how we got here and what these moving pieces actually mean, so that you as an administrator can kind of understand what you'll hear later today and what you'll really hear as part of the conversation with you as we talk about Microsoft Search becoming really the enterprise search solution across Microsoft. So if you think back to what search was like across applications in Office 365 and the variety of the Office suites, we managed to find every possible place to put a search box, and we almost never put it in the same place. All of those search boxes usually talked to different endpoints. They had different notions of what a person was. They had different intelligence behind it to try to figure out what was the most useful thing. And so when we said, we've got to reinvent search, we've got to make search useful, we've got to make search habit-forming, we've got to make search the go-to productivity tool, we took a look at the applications and we said, all right, what do we have today? Where are users interacting with search, and where's the potential there? And we looked at a number of things across the landscape. We looked at what we were good at. We looked at where we struggled. We looked a lot at what we call DSATs, or the dissatisfied search users. We looked at failed searches. And what we realized was kind of a fundamental change in the way we were making products. Search was a feature in Exchange. It was a feature in SharePoint. It was a feature in Word. It was never at the top. It was just one of the features, long list on the feature list there. And so we realized if we were really going to be excellent at search, if we were really going to be world-class at search, we absolutely had to rethink how we were building search and what it meant from a product standpoint. We knew things were coming next. We knew that even if we solved all the DSATs, we knew if we fixed all the scenarios that users wanted us to do today, the expectations were only getting bigger. As we think about digital assistants, as we think about voice, as we think about more sophisticated experiences, the expectations are only going to grow. So if we think about how are we going to build a search architecture that's really going to allow us to get there, we had to continue to dig deep and really think it's not just about changing the lipstick on the pig, but maybe getting a different pig, or maybe a racehorse. So search needed an overhaul, and it wasn't going to be an overhaul in one app, or one app at a time. It was going to be an overhaul in all of them. And we realized that search really had to fundamentally connect with users in a consistent way. So you'll see that as the search box kind of moves to the header across all these different apps. But that the architecture itself also had to evolve. So what came out of this was, as Jeff said, this notion of Microsoft Search. And in the beginning, it was very, very aspirational, as most products start out at. And we had a little bit of product truth. And over the last year, we've really turned more of that aspiration into product truth. But to be clear, this is very much the beginning of Microsoft Search. It's very much the beginning of what we think is going to be world-class search for Microsoft 365 and Bing. And it really is an all-up strategy. So we talk about it, Microsoft Search in Bing, in Outlook, in Office.com, in SharePoint. Really, that's a nod to the notion that first and foremost, Microsoft Search is the thing that we want users or admins to think about. We don't want you to worry about, oh, do I have to switch over to SharePoint, or do I got to go to Office.com or Bing? It's about meeting you where you are. It's about bringing the best of search into the experiences that you and your users are already using today. So if you are a die-hard Bing user, keep using Bing. We'll bring the best of enterprise results into those Bing experiences. But if you already have a significant investment in SharePoint, you've done a lot of customizations, you have a lot of workflow and business processes built into SharePoint, perhaps you have a complete custom intranet portal, we're going to keep those working. We're going to make Microsoft Search shine through those experiences as well. Getting to this is actually a lot harder than you might think, especially with a company that has many moving parts, many decision makers, many people that all have good ideas. And so what I want to do is talk a little bit about the architecture and how we got, or where we started and how we got to where we are today. So for those of you who did any kind of Exchange administration, raise your hand. Okay. This will look familiar. It's very simplified, but really it's the notion of we had a couple of clients. You know, at one point, we used to call ourselves the Outlook server because nobody really knew what Exchange was, and Outlook sounded better. But really, we had two clients, and those clients, we brought on some of the other clients through like the active sync protocols from the mobile devices. But when we think about our great first-party experiences, it was Outlook and OWA. We had our directory, which was Azure Active Directory, and we had our Exchange store. And so for those of you who've done some of the architecture talks, you know about Big Funnel and about how we do poise and how we actually have a content processing pipeline. But it was really built for Outlook, and we knew the needs of Outlook, and we could go build and kind of tailor a solution for that. Now in the SharePoint world, it's a little bit more complicated. SharePoint Search is a beast. It's got way more knobs, way more customizations, way more things that really allow you to tune it for your business. Fundamentally, there's a lot of the same pieces though, right? You've got client applications that talk to it. You've got a crawling pipeline, or what we call a document understanding pipeline. SharePoint has the ability to suck in content from other places. So if you were in a hybrid environment, you might have been pulling content out of your on-premise into SharePoint. And then in the Bing for Business architecture, that was a pretty new solution, and so that had sort of fewer moving parts, but in some ways it was the most modern of the architectures. And so when we brought that all together, what we realized was we needed a completely new search middle tier that actually powers Microsoft Search. And in partnership with all of the client endpoints that you see here, we are all now converging on a single architecture. So this is pretty revolutionary, although maybe more so knowing how the sausage gets made, and you realize how hard it is to get things done. But the output is actually pretty impressive. The output means we're at a place now where we don't have to have conversations about this thing is a completely different stack, and so I can't help you. You should go talk to that team. For small and medium businesses, even some of the large enterprises, there might only be one person whose job it is to be the search admin. And so they really want not only a unified admin, which is what Jeff is going to talk about, but they want to be able to think about search in a unified way. They want to think about the problems their users have in a consistent way, and then have the tools and the architecture and the product capabilities support the things they want to roll out in their business. You'll see something here also, the graph connectors. And so for those who've been around for the last 2 days, you know that graph connectors is a really big initiative. So this is the ability to bring data from outside of Office 365 directly into the system so that we can reason over it and put our sort of best models to work and really help bring the notion of enterprise search to life. Many customers said, yeah, I get that you guys want to be an enterprise search vendor, but we don't run our entire business in Office 365. We run some of it in PeopleSoft, or we run some of it in ServiceNow. And so really understanding that the search architecture not only had to bring all the clients into one place, it also had to be able to reason over all the data. And all that data wasn't just the data that was natively in Microsoft 365. So why do you care? So why are you as an admin better off? Why are users better off? These are kind of the 6 things that really resonate for me as I think about the strategy and I think about the roadmap here. So really the easy win is we have a whole bunch of people that were working on search. Those folks are all now working on a single search solution. So putting all your wood behind one arrow is a way better return on your investment. It means that people in SharePoint, people in Outlook, people in Teams, people in Yammer don't have to be search experts. It means that we can bring together the best people across the company to build the best search for the client and therefore for your users. Unified business logic means if I'm in a search box in SharePoint and I start typing JE for Jeff, I should see the same people rank that I would see if I'm in Outlook doing a search, or if I'm in Teams, or if I'm in Bing. That there's only one version of Jeff, and his proximity to me, based on what we collaborate on, based on what we communicate on, should flow throughout the system. We shouldn't have the fragmentation. And so from a user perspective, they get to see this great consistency. They get to see new features light up in one search box and another without having to think about them as very separate product strategies. We're spending a lot more time investing in what we call query understanding or user understanding. And this can be everything from natural language. It can be things like spell-corrected searches. It can be things like trying to determine intent from a query. By putting all those in one place, we get to ensure that it happens in a consistent way. So if I can start to ask the search box, like if I type in JEF and hit enter, and I get this nice little people card, I want that same intelligence or that same intent understanding to apply in the different endpoints. As I mentioned before, the workloads were pretty siloed. We had Exchange powering Outlook. We had SharePoint powering its clients and its API use cases. But our users were asking for things that were spanning these workloads. They said, look, I don't spend all my day in Outlook. I don't spend all my day in SharePoint. I bounce back and forth. And what I want to be able to see is a search that understands where the data is so I don't have to worry about it. So if Jeff sent me a document in an email and I need to go find it, and I'm like, oh, was that in an email? Did he post it in a team site? Maybe it was in a Yammer chat. We just want to be able to search across it. We'll make it our responsibility to go find all the documents, find the best way to rank it, and bring you back relevant results without having you to think about, wow, where did I see this document? It also gets us into this notion of what we call global ranking and relevance. So given the context of an application, given the user, given what they're working on, given what's in their social graph, we may choose to search certain things. We may choose to suppress certain things. And by having a single search architecture, it allows us to handle the nuanced use cases where if I'm in SharePoint, I might be strongly biased to finding files and sites or people, but if I'm in Outlook, I might be strongly biased to finding email and people. And so by having a global ranking system, it allows us to really tune that search given what we know about the user and their context. And then finally, it allows us to drive what we think of as consolidated success metrics. And this is awesome for you as admins because it means that we have deep, deep metrics on understanding whether search is working for you. We understand within the context of your tenant, are you successful in Outlook? Are you more successful in SharePoint? Okay, if you're more successful in SharePoint, why isn't it working for you in Outlook? And so we can start to tease out these comparisons and find out what is working well here and what isn't working well there. And again, it allows us to drive with this guardrail around what we call success metrics. So this is really just the tip of the iceberg for architecture. It's something we kind of wanted to peel back the curtain. We don't often talk about it, but it feels like for this audience, you guys appreciate seeing a lot more about what's going on behind the surface. I think it's really just the beginning of a number of architecture talks that we'll do. We'll do another one probably at SharePoint Conference and Build, and then I'm sure we'll do another one at Ignite. But hopefully you guys found this exciting, and I'll hand it back over to Jeff.
Awesome. Thanks, Robin. So, administration. When we started looking at Microsoft Search over the last couple of years, and we started looking at the intelligence that it was going to bring and all the stuff that Robin was just talking about, we thought that Microsoft Search was going to be so intelligent that no administration was going to be necessary. Right? The only thing you could possibly do as administrators was make it worse. So, Ignite is all about announcements. I'm here to announce that as search administrators, your jobs are all obsolete. Right? I kid. It's not true. We do obviously want and will provide you the most relevant results from a search perspective, but it's not the end of the story. Right? There is still room for the administration, and there's still necessary administration. We've seen features over the last couple of days like acronyms and floor plans and connectors that have been highly anticipated. And clearly those things don't just show up on their own in some of those cases. Right? But this idea of search, this capability that spans across all of your data in any workload was new. Right? And we came from this world where it was all very siloed, and so we had to rethink what it meant to be a search administrator and to do search administration. And to be honest, we made it worse. At the start, we made it worse, right? Because we came from this world where the only search administration you could do was in SharePoint, right? And then what we did at the preview of Microsoft Search a year ago at Ignite is we launched another admin console, right? And so we caused another problem, right? But we wanted to look at what the future was, right? And we had some good ideas of where we should go from an administration perspective, and we thought we wanted to test those out with you. And so we set out to learn from all of you what it meant to do search administration. And we found a couple of interesting things. The first is, most of the people doing search administration didn't want the job. They were SharePoint administrators. They knew how to do content administration and create great intranets and do work in SharePoint, right? But the only place you could do search administration was in SharePoint. So they were told to do that job, and it became a part-time job. And many of those folks, not all of them, but many of those folks didn't really feel all that qualified to do the job, right? We gave you lots of richness, lots of capability within SharePoint that you could, SharePoint search, that you could use to really tank the search experience. How many people played with X-Rank? Did it go well? Yeah, all the hands went down, right? And so that was a problem that we thought we needed to fix from a search experience perspective and an administration perspective, right? And so we were pretty convicted here, and then in talking to you, right, it sort of strengthened our resolve here to build a centralized search admin experience that cuts across all of these workloads. And so what we landed on is this unified search admin experience in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, right? And from there, you're going to do administration across Microsoft Search, not just for SharePoint, not just for Bing, not just for Office.com, but create those floor plans, create those bookmarks, create those acronyms that show up in all of those canvases in Microsoft Search, right? And through that, right, we want to also take you to a world in which you don't have to really tie together all of these individual experiences, like create a promoted result, go to X-Rank, create a vertical, manage the search schema. We want to make it much simpler for you over time to figure out what to do from an administration perspective and why you want to do that. What's it going to do for your organization and for your users? And that's really what our goal is from an administration perspective, is have administration be just as intelligent and just as easy as the rest of Microsoft Search overall. So what I thought I'd do is just go into the UI itself and have you take a look at it. Before I do that, how many people have actually seen the new administration UI for Microsoft Search? Not enough hands. So let's try to fix that this week. All right. So the first thing is, if you're a global administrator of your organization, this is already available to you today. Microsoft Search administration is already available to you today, right? Because you are that global administrator, you have a lot of power. I hope you're using it wisely. If you're not a global administrator, what we found in talking to customers is that there are people doing just search administration. And today, they're SharePoint administrators as well, because that's what you have to be to administer search in SharePoint. And just like at Microsoft, we have the people doing search administration that don't want to be SharePoint administrators. They don't want owner over the content in those sites. They want to administer search and make that a great finding experience, right? And so we set about to change that. And we introduced two new roles, the search admin and the search editor, right? So if you are a search administrator and you are not a global administrator, go find your global administrator and ask them to give you one of these two roles, right? Then you can come into the Microsoft Admin Center at admin.microsoft.com, right? And you will get this experience. Right? The one thing I do want to call out as well is, if you go way up to the top of the Admin Center, there's this toggle here, try the new Admin Center. Just like we revamped Microsoft Search, the team that owns this platform was revamping this from an old Angular code base to React, right? And this toggle takes you to the React code base. Since on the search side, we didn't want to build a whole lot of debt, we built it into the React code base. So toggle that on, become a search admin or a search editor, and then you've got this experience here. This experience here, we've helpfully hidden it right under the settings page, right? So if you go down the left nav of the Microsoft Admin Center to Settings, expand that out, you'll find Microsoft Search, right? And one of the first things you'll see here is that this is going to be a very common look and feel across all of the admin centers that you might have access to. If you are a global administrator, if you're doing user administration, you've obviously already been here. So you'll see that common look and feel and the common controls across this. We share those same designs and controls and principles and guidelines with SharePoint and Exchange and every other admin center. It's part of this Uber effort that we call admin coherence at Microsoft. So this will look very similar to you, right? Now I mentioned two roles, right? The first is the search administrator. That obviously gives you access to everything within search, right? Here from insights down to configurations, you'll be able to come in and work through all of those individual pages. If you are the search editor, and this is a common role we found across a lot of organizations, this is the person that's really driving that editorial content, the person that's going into the console and creating new bookmarks, creating new acronyms, creating locations and Q&As and floor plans. Then you just want the search editor role in the interest of least permissions. And the editor role will give you access to what we call these editorial content or these editorial answers. Acronyms, bookmarks, floor plans, locations, Q&As, and any other editorial answers that we bring into the search experience. So depending on your role, get one of those two roles in Azure Active Directory, and you can come in and use this particular experience. Now, once you get in here, navigating here is pretty discoverable. We do have documentation out there if you really want to read it. In fact, we just published a whole new document set in line with Ignite. But really, this is pretty simple. If you want to come into the bookmarks page and you want to create a new bookmark, come into the bookmarks page and hit Add. And it's a very simple common control that you'll see across all of our experiences. Create a title for it, create a URL, a few keywords that are used to trigger that particular bookmark. And then if you really want to go into it, you can actually create alternative versions of this for different countries or regions. So you don't have to create lots of different bookmarks for, say, the vacation site. You can create one and have variants of this for a particular country or region for their users. If you want to schedule bookmarks, for example, as part of a campaign, you can use a start and end date as part of that bookmark or something that's always available. And then publish it or save it as a draft. If you're doing bookmarks, right, those will show up in your search results immediately. Some of the other answers here, like acronyms, might take up to 72 hours, but generally these are all pretty quick. And obviously you can walk your way through here. You've got simple bulk select and bulk edit if you want to do that. You can revert to draft in a lot of these experiences. Again, you'll see these as you go across all of the different answer types. But it's very discoverable. If I had a call to action for all of you as search administrators, the first thing I would say here is come in and create bookmarks. What we found in talking to customers is that this is the fastest and easiest way to get a lot of editorial value out of Microsoft Search. As we've already seen, as you've seen in all the demos as we've shown, you get a lot of value out of Microsoft Search just to begin with. It's there, it's running, it's on. You don't have to do anything to get those great people results, the org charts, things like that. But as an administrator, you can make it better. And the easiest way to do that is bookmarks. Now, there's lots of cool other stuff, as you've seen. We've seen acronyms. But again, the admin experience for acronyms is just the same as bookmarks here. Go in, create an acronym. Again, you can edit or you can add new, right? And it's really simple. You can create the acronym, you can create the expansion of that, you can throw a URL into it as a source, and that becomes another answer that shows up with those mined acronyms, which you don't actually have to do anything for. Your organization will get mined acronyms without you actually having to do anything here. So these are just those editorial created content. I know you have a question. We'll get to it at the end. Yep. Right? So those are really the simple features, right? Now there are some that are a little bit more complex, right? Floor plans, for example, requires you to come in and upload a floor plan. And we have a session later in the week that'll go into this in depth. Right? Connectors requires you to do extra work, and this is where we want to make it very simple for you. For those of you that were SharePoint search administrators, there was no experience that helped you tie together schema and verticals and result types and everything you needed just to make that experience work as you brought in new data into the index. So we want to fix this, and obviously in the admin center, we've got a common control here that we call the wizard control. And you'll see fairly judicious use of this. Right? So if I were to come in and create a new connector to ServiceNow, the first thing that you'll see here is our wizard. And this will show up in lots of the experiences, whether it's floor plans or connectors or anything that's a multi-step experience. We will take you through all of the required steps to get this set up, and in some cases we'll throw in some optional steps as well. So you can see the flow here going through connection settings to configuration data, do that schema mapping right in this particular flow, rather than create a connection and then go figure out later that you have to go manage the schema to make sure all those properties are discoverable and usable in your verticals and result types and later refiners when we get to those things. So you'll see this quite a lot in the experience as well. Right? So let me close that out. Right? So we've talked about the UI flow. We've talked a little bit about answers. Right? I'll throw this out there. You'll see configuration. One of the questions that we have gotten a lot from administrators, and in the interest of transparency and openness, one of the things many customers have asked us to do is turn off Microsoft Search in Bing. Now, we don't think you should do that, but in case you're wondering, it is here. You can turn off Microsoft Search in Bing from this admin experience. Right? So, last thing I want to talk about here in the demo is analytics, because this is the top of mind for most particular customers, is how do I know search is functioning? That's actually not the one. I want to show you this one. How do I know search is functioning? How do I know what's being searched for in my organization? Right? I need some insight. I need some analytics that tells me what I should go do. And that's the last bit, is where we're headed. What we'd like insights to be, and in the interest of this intelligent admin experience, is basically actionable insights. And at some point in the future, we'll just go make recommendations for you. We'll tell you that you should go create a bookmark to your pay stub site because all of your users are searching for it, but you don't have a bookmark for that. And we should just tell you where that pay stub site is and create that bookmark for you. So that's somewhere down the road. In the meantime, we want to give you some of these basic insights. And if you're a SharePoint administrator and you've used the SharePoint search usage reports today, that's kind of the starting point. Now, if you come into the search admin experience today, this is what you will see. And this is pretty underwhelming, let's be fair. Right? What we give you is top searches, and we give you some impression distribution by result type. But it's even more underwhelming than that. What you see here is only from searches from Microsoft Search in Bing. We haven't actually plumbed through the search results and the queries and the analytics from SharePoint and Office.com and all of those other entry points that are in the list on that slide that Robin had up earlier. Right? And so some of those challenges that Robin was describing about taking all of these legacy experiences together and redefining our architecture and creating a new architecture applies to the analytics as well. We are in the process of replumbing our entire analytics infrastructure for Microsoft Search so that we can do a little bit better than what you see here. Right? So where are we trying to go? Our first version of this will look something like this. And it looks pretty familiar to what you get from SharePoint. Right? You get those top queries, but those top queries will be across all of Microsoft Search entry points. And you'll get the no results queries and the abandoned queries. And that's really where you can derive some value out of this, is figuring out what your users are searching for and not interacting with. What are they searching for and then abandoning? And that's maybe a good indication of a place where you can go create a bookmark to say, give them an authoritative result for this particular query. Right? Of course, some basic table stake stuff like your query volume. And so experience like this will start to roll out in the first half of next calendar year. And that's really just the start. We call this the P0 set of reports, or just like the core table stakes reports that we can run off of that new analytics infrastructure that we're building right now to prove that it works. This is not where we stop, because this is, on its own, it's okay. It's not great. It's not terribly useful, but it's a good starting point for us. Where we're going to get to after this is taking this information and then start to be able to slice it or allow you to slice it in ways that are useful to your organization. Right? So being able to slice based off of department or title or geography. Find out how search is working in your Europe region versus your North America region, and then figure out why there's a difference in those two regions. Right? Or if they're searching for different things and you need different bookmarks or different answers for those particular regions, go create them. Right? But then we think we can do a little bit better than that over time as well. We can layer in some of those core business metrics of active users. We'll take a metric like MAU, monthly active users, and we'll layer that in with another success metric like time to success and session success rate, and then allow you to be able to slice those across your geographies and your business units, right? And find out that your engineering department really hates search because they're not finding what they're looking for. But your sales department, they think it's great. Their time to success is super low, their SSR is super high, and their MAU is through the roof. So what do you have to do to make that search experience great for your engineering department? Right? And so that first step there and be able to give you those metrics that you can derive some manual insights from is what we're looking at over the course of next year as well. And you can maybe derive from that particular scenario that your engineering department doesn't like search because you haven't brought in GitHub as one of your external data sources. And then so you talk to our connectors team and find out that, yeah, we've created a GitHub connector for you and you can bring that data in. And over time, see that success rate for your engineering department go up and know and get that feedback that you're doing the right thing for your organization. So these are some of the ideas that we have. We want to layer that in with some other sort of insights around what you have done to make search better or what you have done to make search worse. Because that's really what the reality was in SharePoint Search, is you went in and messed with some of those settings, and most of you truly made it worse. When you messed with X-Rank and you didn't know what you were doing, you couldn't possibly make search better. So we want to let you know if you did something like that, and search success went down and time to success went up and people started dropping off, what did you do so you can go correct it? Or what did you do that made search awesome? So those are some of the things that we're thinking about for the future. Now, the last thing I want to say here is, in the admin experience and everywhere in the Microsoft Admin Center, there's this little widget down at the bottom that says, give feedback. Right? And this feedback comes to my team from an Admin Center experience, a Microsoft Search admin experience. So we'd really like you to interact with this. Tell us what works. Tell us what isn't working. Tell us what you want to see here. Right? Because feedback is an important part of building a great product. So, call to action for you all. Become a search admin or a search editor. Create some bookmarks and other answers. But if nothing else, create those bookmarks. That's a really good path to search success for your organization. Engage with analytics and insights. Admittedly, as I've said, there's not a whole lot there to engage with today. We're going to fix it for you. And we published some new documentation just late Sunday night and preparing for this week. So go there, take a look, see what we've got from a connectors perspective, see what we've got from an answers perspective in there. Provide us some feedback on that documentation page. So, feedback. This is really an interesting topic for us, right? Why? Right? As we develop more and more complex and advanced AI and ML models for search and intelligence scenarios, subjective data like user feedback is a really critical part of the data that we need to diagnose issues and just improve the product overall, right? But this circle you see here, this is a really common flow, right? We ask for end user feedback, it goes to engineering, and we tell you we're going to improve the product. Right? And that's generally what the idea is. This is what we'd like to do, and we need those subjective signals. But getting feedback from your users, right, raises some red flags for me as a privacy proponent. right? And so what we want to do across all of search, and especially in feedback when we're asking for your information around the query and the results of those queries and some subjective user-driven verbatim feedback, is to make sure that we keep our core promise of trust and privacy across our customer content and data, right? And we uphold that promise. So we are treating feedback the same way we treat any content you store in the Microsoft cloud, as your data, right? And that data collection, asking for feedback, right, is only done with expressed and explicit consent from you and your users, right? So what's it going to look like, right? You've seen the search results page in some of the demos this week. We've put a couple of links out there, and this is a work in progress. The designs may change, but we've got a couple of places where we ask you for feedback on this particular page. One is within the answer itself. Is this the right bookmark for the query? Give us a thumbs up or thumbs down on that one, right? And then give us some more verbatim on that. But generally, search overall, right? There's a widget up there, a link up there. And if you click on that, you get this form. And there's really two groupings of data within this form. There's sort of this top section of categories and verbatims, and we're still working on all the strings here, but there are things like, search was slow or the results were not relevant. That's what we call the category. So go and click that. And then there's the free-form text. Just tell us what you're thinking. Explain why you chose that category. And those are really useful, right? But this second category, this section of data is really where it gets interesting, right? This is the diagnostic data. This is the query, the results, the interactions. This really tells us what the user did that then informs the category. If they did a query and they didn't like the results, they were not relevant, it's really important for us to know what that query was and then tie that back into the feedback that the results weren't relevant here. So that's a checkbox. That's where we take your data and your privacy very seriously. That is not checked by default, but we would highly encourage you to also encourage your users to check that box when you're sending feedback, because it really gives us the information that we need to improve the product overall. Most of you all assume that I'm asking for this, right? And most users assume that feedback goes off into the ether and nothing ever comes of it. But that's where we're doing something different, right? Microsoft Search is doing something different with feedback that you're not seeing in any other app at Microsoft today, but we are using this to drive every other component team into our model, which is we're sending the feedback to you, right? There's a lot of cases where the feedback you're getting or the feedback that users are submitting is really actionable by you. If they say, I don't like a bookmark, it's on you to fix it. It's not on us to fix it. You're the one that created it in the first place. So you should get that feedback, right? And so we're going to add a new section into the admin console, and this will show up in the first half of next calendar year, right, is to show you the feedback that the users are submitting so that you can take action on it, right? On select and multi-select, you'll get some basic triage options like resolved and duplicate and delete. You can also get more details by clicking on that and see if the user submitted some verbatims and other details on that search. But if you go back to the start of this conversation, and just a few minutes ago, I said, Microsoft wants this as well, and we've yet to talk about getting that to us, right? So if you look closely, you'll see that there's a couple of cases where you can send this feedback to Microsoft, or you get a flag, an indication that the feedback has already been sent to Microsoft. So you'll get that status, right? And this is, again, important for us. We'd like to see that. Now, of course, we want the feedback, right? But it's your data, and keeping privacy at the top of our requirements means you need to be in control of this. So we've added this tenant-level switch that controls the feedback to Microsoft. This switch will be on by default, right? When this switch is on, anything that the user submits will also be sent to Microsoft, okay? If you turn this off, and you can, I'd highly recommend you don't, but you can, then we're only going to get a part of the feedback, right? And so if you remember those those two sections of data, if you leave this switch on, we'll get everything within this form. The categories, the verbatims, and that diagnostic data of the query and the results, right? If you turn it off, we will still get that top section. We'll get the categories and the verbatims, but we can't do a whole lot with it because we can't actually tie it back to the query. So we'd highly recommend you keep this on because building amazing search is a partnership. We need that objective feedback, or excuse me, that subjective feedback from you and your users. And we can also tie that back into relevancy and give your users more personalized results if they're submitting feedback that we can get. So let's wrap it up. There's a couple of related sessions, if you've seen this in other sessions this week, but if you want to learn more about some of the answers like floor plans and acronyms, go to this Microsoft Search and Bing session on Wednesday. If you want to deep dive in connectors, we've got a couple of sessions for those coming up. They'll show you the end-to-end flow of creating those. If you're a SharePoint administrator, SharePoint Search administrator, and you want to know about SharePoint Classic to Modern and what we're doing with verticals and result types and refiners, take a look at this session on Thursday about search customization and development, because that's going to give you the deep details you want on those particular topics. Right? So the last bit is, and we've got a little bit of time here for Q&A, I want this to be a start of a conversation. As Robin said, we'll talk more about architecture over the coming year, but we really want to know from you who the search administrator is in your organization. Do they have other roles too? What are they doing? So these are some questions for you that I'd like to know. After the end of this session and for the next couple of minutes, we'll do some Q&A. I'm going to be down at the booth for a couple hours as well, so please come down and find me there. But other than that, thank you very much, and if you have questions, we'll take them now.
Bookmarks and acronyms, are they going to do a bulk upload or are they got to go in one at a time?
Yeah, so you have the option for both of those. You can create them one at a time, but they both have bulk upload and download capability. And so you can do a bulk upload, and then you could also do a download offline edit, and then merge back in on an upload.
And the second question is, there's a setting for the minimum data you have to feed back to Office, and then there's an optional data for all of Office 365. Does any of the search data get included in the minimum requirement?
It's a good question. If I can talk to you afterwards,
Okay.
It's a more detailed answer.
Cool.
Yeah. Here.
Are we going to have any support for removing items from the index or making sure that it's not included in the index?
Take that one, Robin. So the question is, are we going to support adjusting the index?
I mean, generally you can manage the content within the index, and you can either do it through, deleting things. You can also do it through the query rules support in SharePoint that we're bringing forward. So depending on whether you're looking to just purge content versus hide it from certain populations or policies.
Yeah, I'm talking more from a hybrid perspective where they're using cloud search service to push it up to the cloud, and maybe they want certain things. It's a highly regulated company that wants to say, look, these pieces of data, we don't want it in the cloud, so we don't want to push that up. We can use crawl rules, but it's not scalable from, like, say, everything that's listed as confidential.
So actually, I don't know a ton about how the SharePoint's hybrid works, but I would have thought that you would have been able to filter on upload. So maybe we'll go find the SharePoint booth and talk with those guys.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Do you have any updates about the integration of Windows 10 Search and Microsoft Search?
The integration of Windows 10 Search, so I think you're talking about using Microsoft Search from a Windows search box.
Yes.
Effectively.
Coming the first half of next calendar year.
Okay.
Quick question about the connectors. I saw your connectors support file shares, which is really good news. Thank you for that. But what's your general roadmap for connectors coming down the pipe? Are you still going to be supporting integration of on-prem content sources from that perspective, hybrid or otherwise?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things. So the first is if you're using SharePoint Hybrid and some of those experiences today, that feeds into Microsoft Search. The connector story that we've got, if you've seen it in some of the demos we've done earlier this week, is we've built 6 out of the box or Microsoft built connectors, which includes file shares. And that may grow over time, but we're also partnering with a couple of systems integrators to expand that to over 100 different connectors for different data sources. And that's really the roadmap, is to do partnership and in some cases, some very specific Microsoft built connectors
If I can ask one more quick follow-up. The integrator that maybe you're talking, maybe an example would be like BA Insight.
Yeah.
We're using them to do file image preview generations for the file share content.
Yeah.
Anything on your midterm to long-term roadmap on providing that kind of support?
So of the 3 partners, BA Insights is one of those. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
There'll be an option to turn off the feedback links.
There is an option to turn off sending feedback to Microsoft, but if you turn that off, it will only stop sending us the diagnostic data. There's some of that general, if you recall the 2 parts of that form where you have the category and you have verbatims, that's still going to come to Microsoft regardless. It's just you're going to protect your users' data, the query, the results, things like that, if you turn off send to Microsoft.
Okay, it would be nice with the option to turn it off completely.
Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that feedback. Thank you. Yeah.
A variation on the question about removing search results, which is that we have scenarios where users don't really understand security trimming and they've overshared. And so we want a way to have the search admin, when they can't reach the user and cancel permissions or do something, quickly say, like, oh my God, that should never be showing, and put in a blacklist at least temporarily.
Yep. So all of the basically customizations that we support in SharePoint are being brought forward into Microsoft Search. So through the use of query rules, no index flags, and those other techniques will still apply to all of the same content that comes in.
Timing.
You know when that happens?
Today it's happening so when you're using Microsoft Search today, all of the SharePoint rules are still applying under the covers. As we bring in new capabilities or new data sources, there's an additional lag where we bring the capabilities to that. So for SharePoint content, it works today. When we talk about graph connector content, that'll work by GA. When we talk about other content in the Microsoft ecosystem, those will all kind of have their own timeline to catch up on the capabilities.
Yeah. Yep.
When you've got contextual search, so you know, searching in SharePoint, it's just searching across site in SharePoint. How does it work with bookmarks? Because I've noticed that the bookmarks don't appear in those contextual search. And will there be a way to say this should only appear in a contextual search or not? So things like bookmarks and Q&A. So
the way bookmarks are working today is that they apply to the tenant scope. And so it really depends on the scope at which you're searching. So things like Bing and Office.com and SharePoint Home are going to be tenant scope searches, and that's where bookmarks are going to fire. If you're down below the tenant scope, today bookmarks don't apply to those, right?
Is there anything, will that change in the future? Or?
It is one of the things we're looking at. Yeah. So I know there's probably a couple of other questions. We're going to wrap up because there's another session coming in. They need to stage, but if you have other questions, just find us or find me down at the booth for the next couple hours as well. Thank you.